Welcome to part 3 of the 4-link build for the Rodeo. So my coilovers have arrived and we have some 14-inch coilovers. So they're for the back, they're going to mount in here. To mount them we have these shock mounts from Ram Customs. So assemble it like that and that'll sit on the diff somewhere, like that. And then I'm just going to custom make out of some pipe. I'm going to bend up some hoops for the top of the shocks. So I'm getting to suspension today. We've still got suspension, the chassis bracing, and put a fuel tank in the back to complete the 4-link. So we'll see how much we get done for this video. So I've got me lower shock mounts on the diff and I've got my shocks in, all the coilovers. So now I'm just measuring and working out for the hoop, which I'm going to make out of it's 32 mil, I think it is. It's out of this. I just got one of these cheap pipe benders for now, just to pretty much see what it does. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then we'll have to get them bent properly. But yeah, we'll give it a go. We'll try to bend up a hoop for the back for the top of the shocks, and we'll fit it all up. No good, eh, bud? Well, that pipe bender is shit.
And yeah.
Influencing with Henry.
Yeah, I did.
So I just went and got the hoops bent up properly. So as you can see, nice bends. And what we're going to do is run 2 hoops. So we go over like that, and then one behind it, and then just join the 2 together, and then the coilovers will mount to that. So we'll start with that. We'll build like a little frame with the hoops, sit it on. Then I'll like get me heights, might have to go lower with it, and then get the coilover positions and yeah, go from there. But that's starting with. So what I'm going to make at the moment is I'm going to notch this out on both ends, and that's going to sit in the middle here, space that apart, and then I've got my coilover mounts, so that will sit up underneath there, and the coilovers will mount off that. We've got to work out the positioning on the car for how far apart the tops are. We'll get there, but for now we'll put the bit in the middle, we'll sit that on the car and work out our coilover positions. Right, so that's basically the principle we're going with. So where that shock is now, I'm pretty sure where it will be on full droop. So I'll just cut this lower to meet that with these that will go in there. But where this goes this way is what we've got to work out. So, and then where this frame sits forwards, backwards, what we've still got to work out. So it's basically how the shock hoop's going to look. Should be cool. That'll go stick through the tub. So between the wheel arches and the tub, we'll have to cut out where this will be so the tub can go back on. And basically it'll just be for looks, it'll look cool. Might box it in just to cover it, but yeah, that's basically how we're going. So once we get this on, we move on with our chassis brace and everything else we still got to do to it. So just getting there slowly. Just run back. Kill. Goes there. Perfecto. Sick. Sick. Let's see what it does. Little shit off. see if that clearance is right. And the rear's too light. Soft. Soft. Might stand on it. Yeah, we'll stand on the toe bar.
Okay. Not quite in bumpies.
Oh, the shocks and maxing out. No, not. So I've still got some room on the shocks. Yeah, good. So, the bump stops are going to be lowered. We've got like 5mm plus the rubber. So we've got clearance still. It's probably good height.
Lift up the higher.
Now we'll just lift up to our full, well, for clearance issues, so I've still got a coil, so that's going to clear. The coil will be as wide as that. We'll have to flex it up too and see what happens. See how close your shock will get when one wheel's on the chassis and the other one's down. So we'll give that a shot. Just check clearances, and if that's right, then that's pretty much where they're going to stay. So yeah, that's pretty good.
The wheels off the ground.
Yeah. So basically, if I can get this to clear through the chassis here, the coils will miss. So it looks pretty close. So I need to check it out. Looks like a wheel, but yeah, I'm sure. So from that testing we did when we flexed it, I'm going to cut these and actually bring the shocks in a bit further. So when there's a coil spring on, we're not going to risk hitting the chassis on the flex. So I'll just do that now, and that's pretty much the coilovers mounted. I'll just put a bit of bracing on top of these, join these together. I can't get that pipe back in the middle. I took it out to put this on, I can't get it back in, so I'll just use some flat bar across the top. And then these will mount up on there, so I'll do a little mount for them. And yeah, that's pretty much it for mounting the coilovers. Then we can do our bracing, fuel tank, and that's really it for the falling. Right, so it's chassis bracing time. So basically just going to do cardboard template and then cut it out on some 3mm sheet. So basically just going to sit that against there. And I'll trace the chassis with the texter. I'm going to do it on the insides, just so it looks stealthy from looking on the outside of the chassis. You can't tell it's braced, but it is. So we're going to do it here up to the cross member, and then we're going to go cross member back. I won't do that bit yet because when I put the fuel tank in, I don't know what I'm doing with that cross member there, so I might change that. And if that comes out, I can do full chassis brace right to the tow bar. So I'll do that bit when we do the fuel tank, but I'll start within here for now. So this side, that side, and yeah, we'll trace it out, cut some 3mm, and we'll get this one welded on. Like that. So I'll cut that out, mark that onto some 3mm, and we'll cut that out of steel. Just marking out some spots to drill some holes. So I'll just drill a hole there, and when on the chassis I'll just weld up the hole. It should be a bit more reinforcement onto the chassis.
Come on, bud, out. You're gonna get blind.
Blind as a welder's dog.
Oh, it's out. Out.
Right, now that we've got these shock mounts that are going through the tub, I'm just going to measure and pretty much cut out in the tub where these are going to be so we can put the tub back on. So I'm just going to do that now. We will cut the tub out, put the tub back on, see how it looks really, and see how high these actually come up. Hopefully they're not higher than the tub sides. I want some stealth to it, so if I put like a soft cover or a cover on the top and then this is all hidden. So yeah, we'll go from there. one-handed. That was perfect cut out.
Well, I'm a good measurer.
So as you can see, the big gap in the middle. So I won't leave it like that. So the bit I've cut out, I'll put back in the middle section, and then I might even just like box this whole thing in, and then like I can use the front as storage sort of thing. Like it's like a wall for storage, but that's for later sort of things to do. For now, we just want to get this done, and then yeah, you can sort of even just put a toolbox over the top of it sort of thing, just as a stealth look. People think it's a toolbox, but let's see what we do later on. So now that I've got the tub on and all that, I can check my clearance underneath. So under here, we've got to put a fuel tank in there somewhere. So I've got the option of a Jackaroo tank or a patrol tank. I'll see which one fits better. But yeah, as I was talking about before, this cross member, which is probably going to be in our way. And then the tub, you can see over near the chassis, it actually sits pretty much on the chassis. It'll probably be 20 mil off by the time I put like little rubber packers under it. So I've got to take all that into consideration when I mount the tank. Pretty much just do it flat with the top of the chassis. We'll see how low it hangs, because if it hangs too low, an option is I'll recess it above the chassis, and for now I'll just cut the tub, and the tank will be basically through the tub, and we might just do a tray setup later on. So we'll see how things fit, and then we'll pretty much just go for there and go from there. Yeah, so I'll get the tanks and see what we're going to do. So basically, whatever tank I'm going to use, this cross member will have to move. So I'll cut that out now, and we'll try to fit a tank under it. I'll just either relocate this back further, I'll go back here, or I'll do something where I'll weld on the end, and that's like my tow bar slash rear cross member thing, but I'll sort it out. But yeah, that's gonna have to come out now, and then we'll fit whatever tank we're gonna use. So I've got that cross member cut out. So now what we're gonna do is mark out our chassis bracing for the back here. So we'll go from this cross member all the way to the back of the chassis. So we'll do that now before we put our fuel tanks in. So once the chassis is welded in, then we can mount our fuel tank. Right, so chassis bracing's in, that's all welded, as you can see here. So we've now got a patrol fuel tank. I'm basically going to try to fit this in here. I'm going with the patrol tank because it's 90 litres, so I think the standard Rodeo is about 50. So this will be almost double, so good range. And just with all the fuel sender parts and that, they're just everywhere for patrols. So yeah, I'll try to fit this in there. I'm thinking it will have to come up above the chassis, because as you can see, that's level with the chassis, that's going to hang a fair way below. And on bump stops, we'll probably hit something with it and dent it. So we'll fit this now and see where it's going to go. Oh, that's it. That's the patrol tank install on the Rodeo. So yeah, that I ended up putting in from underneath, jacking it up to where it's like hits, and it's pretty good height. That's pretty good fitment. So what I'll do is I'll run 2 bits of pipe across, so front and back. That's how the patrol tanks mount. So I'll run a bit of pipe, run some flat bar off it to pick up the 6 bolt holes they've got. That's literally it. That's the tank mounted. Then when I get a sender, just a diesel one, and then I can run all my new steel fuel lines, because I'm upgrading from the 8mm Rodeo lines to 10mm. And patrols, you can get a 10mm outlet and 8mm inlet, and that's what I'm going to run. Just so it's got fuel flow for when I run my 12mm pump and pretty much turn it right up. I've got a lift pump as well, so I'll mount my lift pump in there and just do all that stuff. So yeah, that's pretty good fitment. And it's not hanging too low. Because at the moment we are pretty much on bump stop height, and that's not really that low. It's gonna hit on everything. It's pretty much the bottom of the tank is literally just above the bottom of the diff. So that's probably actually an ideal height. So basically that's how the tank's gonna mount. I've just got these bars that run across, and I'll just lift it up to where I need it and just do a bit of like angle underneath to pick up the holes. Same with the front, so it's just there. I'll lift that up to what height I need, and yeah, that'll mount the tank. I'm not using this exact tank. This one's a bit yucky. I'll find another one, but it's a patrol tank. They're all the same, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully get 90 litres out of fuel for the Rodeo, so we'll get some distance out of it hopefully. So yeah, the tank mounts are all done. So these ones here are just 6mm plate, just bent 90 degrees welded to that pipe, and that's just a bit of 50mm. I drilled 3 holes underneath it to mount on the 3 holes on the tank there. So that's it. I've just got it all primed in red oxide at the moment. That's why it's all red. But pretty much for this whole 4-link, that is it done. So other than bolting the tank in, bolt the shocks in, it's finished really. So pretty much the next time you see the 4-link should be out on the tracks. And then yeah,